All right. How are we all this evening? Let me jump to the comments. Beautiful. While everyone's coming in, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who came to the workshops over the weekend. Gee whiz, it was an awesome day today and yesterday. We did the psychic on Saturday, the mediumship today. And yes, I know that I can definitely push you guys out of your comfort zones at times, but you've all walked out with smiles on your faces, so that's nice. So yes, so stay tuned. There will be some more soon. The usual stuff, guys. There is so many spam pages on Facebook. Facebook basically doesn't want to know about it. Never send you a friend request, never message you for a reading, okay? So please ignore these. That's all I can kind of say. So yes. All right, let's get on with it. So feel free to ask a specific question if you would like a specific answer, otherwise you'll get a general reading. Please feel free to comment more than once. Do not smash the page. If you are smashing the page, you will be ignored. It will not get you a reading. It'll get you the exact opposite. So yeah, just be polite. But if you notice that I've missed you, please feel free to comment again. All right. Hi, Andrew. Beautiful. Gee whiz, the comments move fast. All right, let me grab here. Hi Liz, really needing some guidance as to why I'm having these vivid dreams. It's keeping me awake at night. It's funny, we were just talking about dreams before we jumped on. And why they do that. So there you go. Look, there's a few different kind of reasons that are there. It really depends on the type of dreams. If you're having kamikaze dreams where you're like always running from something and you're always on a mission to kind of save yourself, or it's always like that high intensity, it's usually your shadow self. So things that you're running from and not facing in your own life. Otherwise, it can be stuff like you're ready to release and your subconscious is bringing things up. Otherwise, it can be that your intuition is kind of developing and stuff like that. So all kinds of lots of reasons, but the first thing you need to do is sort of check in with yourself and see what's happening and around you and all that sort of stuff. Feel free to sort of send me a message and be a little bit more specific with it, because as I said, it's hard to tell you exactly why you are without knowing the context of the dreams. So yeah, chuck me a message and I'll answer it for you after the live. All right. Message me, text me, hey, because you'll get through to me quicker. Facebook messages sometimes don't load for days, so send me a text message. Gemma. It's funny, I'm just picturing my phone. It's going... No, don't everyone text me. It's awkward. All right, Gemma. Gemma. Okay. I feel like you've got the stand strong, the take 5 and the security card around you. And when I put your cards down there, I feel like around you right now, it's almost like that stressful energy that we sit with. And, things, I don't necessarily want to say this is wrong and that is wrong and that is wrong, but it's almost like everything's just feeling like it's out of balance and has done for a little while. And, when things are out of balance, it can cause, problems with work and problems here and problems there. So it's not like things are wrong, but, it's that kind of energy. Now, I want to say to you, when I sit with that, I'm feeling like there's still just that little bit of a trail around you. It's almost like there's a little bit of a clean out that's there. And sometimes, I take that opportunity to see sort of what you're holding on to. I feel like there's just a few little things around that are ready to be released that you're still sort of sitting with. And these can be, habits and routines and patterns that we go through that don't necessarily work the best for us. They can be associates and things like that. But I'm not really feeling like you need to let go of people or, that kind of energy. I'm feeling like it's more looking at self and kind of going, I know just, for a silly example, going to bed at midnight every single night, I'm tired all week. And when I'm tired all week, I'm crabby. I'm not going out, not enjoying, and so it's sort of building a frustration and everything starts falling out of sync. Your body starts, not cooperating with you as much. It's that kind of energy. I don't want to say that's it exactly. It's just an example. So, standing back and literally standing strong in your energy and just seeing, I feel like, as I said, that you're just coming through this. Don't be afraid to make the changes. It's almost like hey. So I call it like itchy in your own skin. You're feeling a bit frustrated and you're feeling like, So again, take an assessment of where you're at, giving yourself a moment to breathe and knowing that you're secure, knowing that the choices that you make you're going to be fine in. And even when that means changing habits and perhaps, stepping away from certain things that you've been associated with, you're going to be solid, you're going to be fine. I don't want to just say, oh, they're going to be replaced, because I don't feel like everything does just come in and replace. I feel like it's almost, a period of, when I say solitude, I don't want to say that you're alone or, things like that, but it's time to reflect, and it's time that you'll be afforded to spend more time looking inwards than outwards. And that may feel, like, oh, I'm not seeing my friends as much, or I'm lonely, or things like that, but it's actually not. It's time to sit and reflect back. I feel like you've got a lot of power and energy around you that you're not necessarily utilising. And I feel like it's not because you're, not just writing it off, but you're just yet to take ownership of it and really sort of take hold. I would sit back and, think about, rather than things that I haven't achieved yet or things that I haven't been able to do, sit back and also have a look at the things that you have done, and let that, fill you up, going, yeah, I did do that, and I did do that, and I did do that, and you know what, I can do this too, okay? So it's like you're going to sit in a little bit of a, I don't want to say a tumble dryer, even though that's what I'm saying, because I'm not feeling you getting, chucked around everywhere, but it feels like you stay in this cycle until you do actually step back a little bit and, take on board some of the things that I've spoken about tonight. So I hope that helps you, Gemma. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. It has been a pleasure. All right. Carolyn. Hi Liz, great to see you. Thank you. Your tour. I would love a reading. After 16 years, I need to move house. Will I find the right house soon that will be my own? Real estate questions are hard at the moment. All right. All right, so I'm feeling like you're not... It's almost like, I don't want to say that you're tossing up between like a big move and a little move. I feel like you're pretty settled on the fact that you want to stay within a general vicinity, but for where you are, I want to kind of go around. So almost like if your house is here, for some reason they're saying to me 40-minute radius. Okay, so radius goes right around, okay? And so that's where I'm feeling like you sit. I'm almost feeling like it's... The tale, the story that sits in my head is that you're ready to move forward, and it's almost like, the right day, the right time, the right place. So I don't necessarily want to say this is just a quick and simple process, but I actually do want to say that the energy is surprisingly a little bit more smoother than what I anticipated it would be when I tuned in. I'm seeing there's a female connected to the real estate, so it'll be, I guess most property managers are female, from what I've seen anyway, but it's a female energy that connects into it. And it's who's helping you now. There's a connection that's there. So whatever real estate or factors around this move for you, they're also connected to the next one as well. Okay, but I don't feel, as I said, that it's just pick up from here and drop you there. I feel like there's that energy that's in between. So get in early, focus on it where it is that you want to be. I do feel like that's where you'll pretty much end up. I feel like you're pretty happy with where you're at. I don't necessarily feel like it's maybe the forever place, okay? I feel like will be another shift after that. I feel like there's a female connected to it in the real estate. And then time-wise, from beginning to end, so, you've received, this decision that you're moving or that you need to move, to being moved is 3 months, thereabouts. So I'll say, give or take a week, but I'm feeling like it's a 3-month process, okay? Moving's stressful, so I can easily grab onto all that energy that's there, but as I said, I'm actually feeling surprisingly pleasant. So get onto it, keep your faith with it, be accurate with it, use your voice with it, be decisive on where you want to be, and I reckon that you're actually going to be all right with this. So again, there's a connection from what's happening here to where you end up. There's a connection, okay? So I hope all of that helps. Gee whiz, every time I flick. Anything around that's beautiful. All right, there's a couple of questions there I'll jump onto, but let me focus on Karen for a moment. May I have a reading, please? All right. Karen. You know what's really strong around with you? I'm feeling like, and it may have just been, but I'm feeling like there's a trip, and I want to say trip, not holiday, trip. So nothing, not a huge thing. It's like I'm away for 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 days. I really feel like it's coming up. Something needs to be moved in your garden. If you find that you're something that is normally sitting quite healthy in your garden, is all of a sudden flailing, it's almost like just a shift in the season, perhaps, you know what I mean? But if you find that you're getting a little bit of, that's not happening quite so well, I'm feeling like I need to move more around to where there's a longer period of sun, and then I'll be all right again. All right. Big shifts and changes around. Yep, that's all good. So you've got the Be Positive card. Your attitude is a choice. Okay, and so when I sit with that card, I almost feel like all the energies around and all of that kind of thing have just given moment to reflect. And so it's being able to sit back in those moments and, you know, seeing the joys and the happinesses and all of those kind of little bits and pieces, but also allowing yourself a little bit of time and space within that. It's funny, your first two cards have got the sun and the garden as well that come out. That's what I was talking about, so I'm sort of half focusing on that too. So you've got the transformation card that comes into it. Now this is there. So the Be Positive card, as I said, I sit with that energy as a singular. I actually want to sit with this card too. So the transformation card for me, it just feels like you've got things that are moving forward. You're starting to have just new little bits and pieces of life around you that you're actually feeling positive about and starting to slip into and connect to. Those are going to continue to be positive for you. I do see some delays around those. So I see, like, say for example, you're doing something and it kind of clicks here, clicks here, clicks here. I feel like then we sort of hit into a little brick wall. So it's almost like, every time I go to the shops, they've always got my bread, and then all of a sudden they don't sell my bread. It's not the bread, I'm just using it because it's a simple example. And so now I'm having to go over here to get my bread. So there's a solution there, but I'm just having to move around a little bit more than perhaps what I anticipated. And I'm not talking about your house moving, I'm talking about you moving your energy, okay? So when I sit with you, keep doing what you're doing as far as tuning in with yourself and what you've been creating and all of that sort of stuff, because it's nice, okay? And most of all, I want to say to you that it's healing. So yeah. Health, think about the long term and pay attention. So, you know, emotional, spiritual, physical and mental health is always comes under that card. And when I sit with you with that card, it's interesting. I almost want to smile when I sit with that. So it's not so much of a warning, but a note to accept. There definitely is a focus on the spiritual side of things with that. And it's almost like I want to say to you, don't doubt what you're believing. Don't doubt what you're feeling, and don't doubt your own self, okay? And it's almost like pay attention to that. What purpose does it serve you when you lose faith, for example? You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about a religious faith. I'm talking about faith, all right? And so it kind of serves you no purpose. And I feel like there's almost been that faltering around that right now. And so, you know, when I put all of that together, it's like, hey, listen, things have been a little bit, you know, emotionally in your face, but you've got a lot of good things going on for yourself, and keep with that. And just kind of know that it's okay to, you know, to look after yourself and to keep your faith, because there's things that are around you at the moment that perhaps have made you question that, but you're all good. And that's what I feel like that card says. What purpose does it serve you to doubt? Okay, it doesn't serve you any, and you never have, so don't kind of start now. There's more energy here than what you realise, all right? So I hope that all of that helps. Thank you for joining me this evening. Always a pleasure. I wanted to grab onto Hannah. Hello, hello. Would love to know if you see anything around where we move to and anything around that. Thanks. Okay. I have absolutely no idea where you are, Hannah, and I'm going to be 100% honest, and we were joking about this today. I am very logistically challenged. I don't go anywhere without a GPS. So I draw dots instead. So that's what I'm going to do for you, okay? So if you're here, I'd love to know where we move. It's a choice, okay. So I feel like it's not just about where we're moving to, but about what we're doing around that almost dictates that move. It's like I've got a longer option and a shorter option. And the longer option I'm going up and to the right, and the shorter option I'm going down, and I'm going up double as much as I'm going down. As I said, I'm logistically challenged, so deal with that. But you would know in your area, and when you're looking at a normal map, I'm moving 2 inches, I'm going down 1 inch, okay? What do I see around that? I see a lot of stress, to be honest with you, and what the stress feels like is interference from other people. It's almost like, people offer to help, people are tired, and so I can see the action. I can see it's happening whilst movement is happening, but it just feels like everyone's stressed and kind of bitching. So just, be prepared that this is going to be a hard task and people are going to be tired, and we need to sort of step back and make allowances for that. It really does feel like a headache, actually, to be honest with you. And moving is a headache, so let's not, blow that out of proportion type of thing, but I would be really, really mindful of your motorists, your removalists. Whoever it is that's helping you move, whether it's friends, family, or you're doing it yourself and hiring a trailer. If you've got a trailer, if a truck's coming, double check on those things. If it's your own resources, double check the tyres. If it's somebody coming in to help you, make sure 2-3 days in advance you're checking in with that person and confirming it. It feels like something happens around that if we're not mindful with it. Okay, as I said, I'm feeling cranky at people, and as I said, we're moving. Keep it in context, but this is just a little bit above that. I'm annoyed, and I'm using a nice word, that these people are jerking me around, and that they're either not doing what they said they were going to do, or they're not helping. So just kind of be well planned, well prepared. And I think that, you'll just get through it. It's part of, moving socks. And it just feels like you've got the true energy of that. Up is the furthest moved, down 1 inch. As I said, I'm logistically challenged. I'm never going to try and guess where you are. And that's what I'd be doing, guessing. So 1 inch down, 2 inches up to your right, and down 1 inch. So yes, I get that. If I had paper, I could make it a lot more clearer, or if you're sitting in front of me, but I hope you understand what I mean by that, Hannah. Well prepared, be very well prepared, okay? And then you'll be all right? Hope that helps. Sorry, it's not all, but moving never is. All right, it's Priscilla. Priscilla, I've seen your name about 3 times. That must be meant to read for you. Priscilla. You're going to be negotiating some things within the family. It feels like there's just a little bit of negotiation. You know what? I'm happy to keep it at that. I was kind of looking at the, anxiety, but that feels like a bit too big of a word. But the anxiousness that's there, the trepidation. So this is conversations that have been had before, but I just want to say to you that there's just negotiation. So for example, if we normally go do something on Saturday, or something normally occurs on a Saturday, it may need to change over to a Sunday, and so there's a little bit of shuffling and bits and pieces, and it's almost the attitude that it comes in with that's more displacing than the actual, shift itself, because it's like, but again, just a little bit of negotiation, and it'll smooth, and you'll keep on going. Remember your power. I'll say it that way. Let me pull you a couple of cards. Wow. I was going to laugh then. You can't, I need to put the, I don't know if you can, yeah, there you go. You can kind of see, no, it doesn't really, but anyway. All right, so you've got the health card, the Stand Strong card. I was waiting for the same card to come out again. The Catch the Rainbow card. So these are, as I said, cards that I'll just pull randomly from the deck from where I've drawn. Now for you, when I sit with your cards, as I said, there's just a little bit of negotiation and things like that around with it. And, when I say remember to stand in your power, or the sentence that was in my head is remember who's the boss, okay? But I didn't want to kind of put that in as a power struggle, because it's not what it is. So, or not what it should be. So when I sit with you in your health card and things like that, it is just that, just remembering how far you've come, remembering the strength that you have, remembering the resilience that you have, and not being afraid to stick with your boundaries within that, okay? So just, stand strong, okay? And remember that your goals are not impossible. So it may feel like, oh, here we go again, or this is not going to, have a positive outcome for me. That feels a bit funny. Or, da-da-da-da-da-da. But just remember, it's all good. You'll actually slide through with this. Now, the Catch the Rainbow side also with you. Possible. around your work side of things, it's almost been feeling like it's sort of sat like that, and it's not necessarily, you know, I'm booked, I'm not, I'm booked, I'm not, I'm booked, I'm not. It's more so like things that have gotten interference that's made you have to kind of go dunk, 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 dunk like that. Okay, and I just want to say to you that it feels like there's been some concern or, you know, some worry. Is this starting to pull out? Is this starting to sit back? It's not, but I feel like I need to kind of own it a little bit more, step in with that energy as well. So, you know, when you do step back in and you want that level around your work to kind of take this step up, take the step up with it as well. Because I just feel, again, for whatever one reason, because I know that I can feel the confidence there, but I just want to say to you, you need to step back up into, I feel there's a little bit of self-doubt brewing. So check in with yourself, okay? And just, yeah, step back over. You've got, if there's something that you're about to introduce throughout like business side of things, make sure you do your research properly, okay? Make sure that there's enough energy in the market for it, and make sure that you're using the avenue that works best, not what is easiest, okay? So it just, what I pick up and what I want to say around with that, it's almost like we spend a bit of time and energy doing something just to find out that there's no possible way you could compete because, you know, this big business here does it, or, you know, it's not the right level, and so therefore you couldn't get that thing that you needed to go with it, that kind of stuff. So just make sure you're really doing your research thoroughly with ideas that you're wanting to bring in around yourself for say probably the next 6 months, okay? It's not that they're all bad or anything else like that, but it's just like, you know, we might be looking in row A for what it is that we need, and we think that that's where we need to be, but we actually needed to be in row C, and if we purchase what's in row A, it's not going to be any good for us, okay? And so we're just going to be out of pocket, out of time, and out of frustration. So I hope all of that helps. Thank you very much for joining me. All right. Let me catch up. What time are we at? 7:38. Where's the comments? Jade Bennett. Is anything coming through for me? All right, let me focus. Jade. I want to say that things around you sit pretty smoothly, and I could, you know, I was kind of trying to find the words that I wanted to use there, because it's almost like I want to say don't expect any big shifts around you at the moment, but it's a nice positive one. It's like, yeah, you know, everything's going to be sitting smooth. You don't need to be stressing too much about anything around you right now. And I guess sometimes that can bring an element of, what's the word? I don't want to say boredom. I'm looking for another word, like static energy, you know. So, as I pull your cards, I want to say to you, be mindful of that energy as well. So like, so everything's sitting nice and smooth, okay? And when we're comfortable and things like that, you know, days can kind of just go by, you know what I mean? So it's not that anything's wrong per se, but we don't necessarily throw a lot of energy into keeping, you know, things alive and bright and sparkly and colourful. We go to work, we look after family, we cook, we eat, we shit, we fart, we sleep, you know, and we can tend to kind of move like that. So I just want to say to you, just be mindful of that static energy that's there. When I pull your cards, you've got the Unity card, which talks about love and relationships and trust. And for me, as you guys know, it is just that. It's unity, it's true love. It's not, it means that there's something really pure and true here, okay? So you're at a crossroads, decisions and choices and directions, and needing to clear out the stables. And so I just want to say to you, just be mindful. Make sure that we are kind of throwing the correct energy into things. Make sure that we're, you know, loving life along the way, basically, you know, and that why things are sitting so smoothly, we do take those times to be a little bit silly and be a little bit daggy, and to remember why we fell in love, and, you know, remember why we chose to study, or remember why we chose this job, and really just allow everything to sort of reinvigorate while we do have this downtime. Because I feel that if we sort of don't, and we just let things, you know, sit, and again, not that anything's wrong, but I do feel like if I sit like that, yeah, that energy starts to feel more and more tighter as I go on. And I keep feeling by the time I'm sitting around Christmas that I am actually sitting quite frustrated. All right, so have a look around while things are in your downtime. You've got a nice solid base here to work with. If things are feeling a little bit stagnant, think about how you can shake them up. And as I said, that crossroads there, it's almost like a choice. As I said, you don't have to do anything. Everything's sitting fine. But is this fine enough forever? Okay, and if it's not, as I said, make sure you're throwing some colour back in there. Clearing out the stables, out with the old and in with the new. New energy, a bit of vibrancy, a bit of, fun, and all of those wonderful things that's there. Okay, so I hope that helps, and thank you for joining me. All right, catch up with the comments. Kathy, I really feel uncomfortable hounding you to be heard, but I guess I am. Good. I really feel uncomfortable hounding you to be heard, but I guess I am. Laugh aloud, would really appreciate some guidance. You know what, honestly, Kathy, I couldn't even tell you how many times that you've commented, because that's the thing, the comments here are sitting there just like that. So it honestly is really hard to catch every single person. So yeah, you haven't been hounding. You obviously haven't been smashing the page, because it's the first time I've seen it. I was just drawn to your name now. So yep. I do not mind you guys commenting more than once. It's only when it's every third comment that I'm seeing the same name there that I'm like, really? All right. Kathy. It's time to let go. There's a sense of loss that's sitting there around you, and it's a loss of I feel like something, not necessarily someone. And I know that a relationship is like something, and so I'm not necessarily talking about a love relationship. Sometimes life just is, and it's, not necessarily fair, but it is just kind of is what it is. And it does feel like at the moment, as I said, when I tap into your energy, I'm feeling just a depth of kind of not lost, but lost, not quite knowing what to do. You got a lot of spirit that come in and around you. Like, spirit knows that my live feeds are psychic, but you still got them sitting in and around you now. Let me pull you some cards. You know what, though, too, before I do pull the cards, I do want to say, like, whilst my attention and focus is definitely being given to the energy that you're sitting in now, and it sits there, there's a very huge resonating message in that we are shifting forward, but as I move forward, it will be without something, okay? And I can see, though, that you're smiling, you're okay, you're all good. It may just be, you're moving forward without something. And I don't necessarily want to make it this massive thing, but it could be massive to you, so I don't necessarily want to downplay that either. It's funny, I keep wanting to go around your work, but I'm not necessarily wanting to say it's your work, but I keep getting shown that a shift in, say you've been working a certain shift or always working with certain people, or, things like that, that's actually going to be shifted out in a way. So as I said, moving forward without something. When I sit with your cards, you've got the balance card, so the yin and yang of life. And I would very much say that at the moment, just be really mindful of your balance, because you've got the heartache card there, which talks about challenging matters of the heart. And as I said, you're letting something go here. You've also got the Take 5 card, which is obviously just, look after yourself through this time. Trust in the decisions and the process around you, because there is more joy coming, but there's a completion that sits there, as I said, okay? So you need to move forward without always knowing everything, but make sure your intentions are in the right place, okay? Be mindful, not everyone around you always has your best interest in heart, so make sure you trust in the intuition in the decisions that you make. There's a nice positive energy around... All right, so within all of this as well, you're going to find out there is a relationship that's affected. And again, I don't necessarily want to say it's a love relationship, but I will say it's with somebody that you love. So whether that's in love or love like family or love like a partner, I'm not 100% sure. Then you've got the detox card. So it's almost like that wolf in sheep's clothing card comes in. And then you've got the love card sitting there, and you've got the detox card that comes after it, and you've got the female energy card that sits there, okay? And so what that is showing, like as I said, just, not everyone that's saying to you is telling the truth. Not telling the truth, I don't say be getting lies. They're not being truthful, okay? So as I said, it's connected to a relationship. You're going to need to detox this. You're going to have to clear it out. But it's going to have to come from you. This person's not going to amend this. It's going to have to be you that brings the amends in, okay? So don't procrastinate around it. It's not going to serve you any purpose. You need to really trust your intuition and clear out the stables and just know at the end of it all, okay, again, your goals aren't impossible. So do what you need to do here. Even if it is the hardest thing, you still need to do what you need to do here. It will pay off for you. You will move forward, but there is a little bit of a journey attached to it. Those journeys always come fraught with life lessons that, we're grateful for. And sometimes we do roll our eyes with that because we are grateful for it, but it doesn't mean that it, isn't harder in the meantime. So look after yourself, trust your intuition, keep moving forward, let go of what no longer serves you. And for the things that are taken without choice, just know that you will keep moving forward, okay? But as I said, there is a sense of loss around you with that. So I hope all of that helps, Kathy, and thank you very much for joining me. All right. Bloody hell. As soon as I go to click on something, it jumps up. Done it again. As I said, it moves so quick, I've actually got to kind of freeze it and then move. All right. Marina. I would love some guidance, any messages of hope. You know what I do want to say to you, when I tap in with you, I actually feel hopeful, and I feel my heart lifting up, and it feels nice inside. And it's like one of those moments, just when you step outside and it's a nice day, and maybe the sun hits your skin or the breeze is just nice, or for whatever reason you just kind of step out and go, gee, today feels nice, and you just feel that moment of joy, okay? That's what I sit and tap in and around you. And I do feel like when I say that to you, that it's almost like the things that everything's written in the wind to make that fall into place. So that doesn't mean that there's still not, this to go, this to go, this to go, but everything that is there is meant to happen and brings you to that point. So it feels frustratingly positive, if that makes sense. Let me pull you some cards. Nice. Yeah, so when I pull your cards, you've got the joy card. So when I made this deck, I specifically use the word joy because it's peace, happiness, harmony, and that for me is that beautiful culmination of joy, and so I deliberately didn't use just happiness because it's a bigger feeling than that. And so that's where I say, I feel that there's processes going on around you at the moment, and even the challenge in them, and I don't necessarily want to say, that they're all fair or anything else like that, but they all feel, kind of fatefully driven, and you are, you're going to move forward with this. Now, within it is going to be some opportunities presented around you, so it's like, take a chance. Nothing changes if nothing changes, and I feel good with that. Like, as soon as that song, that card come down, the song come into my head, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance, it's got that nice high vibe. Anyway, but that's how I feel when I put that card down. It makes me feel happy, and it makes me feel glad that I've got I'm in a position to actually take these little risks and gambles and chances and things like that. So it feels nice. So enjoy the little opportunities as they come on, and don't be afraid to have a little bit of a play with them, okay? You've got the love card that comes out as well. So that just, again, talks about truth, happiness, and desires. And so for me, it's about everything being in a position around you and you being in a position yourself to actually be able to trust your emotions, trust your connections, and know that the relationships that come in around you are going to be fulfilling and honest and what you need, and genuine too. All right, so I do want to say to you that it's quite easy to actually send you a message of hope because there's some beautiful things that are coming and sitting around you. It's, as I said, there's processes at the moment, but yeah, the powers that be are very much wanting you to know that this isn't a forever thing and that you are going to shift through this, and that the shifts that are occurring around you right now are going to take you to a place that makes you just as happy as what you've been before. All right, so I hope that helps. All right. There you are. Robin, it's your turn. It's funny, I always laugh. And I'm more than happy to read for you, Robin, but I just have to say, it's just not who I was trying to click on. I'll have to go back up. As I said, these messages moving so fast. All right, Robin, you are obviously meant to be read for, and it's an absolute pleasure to read for you, so let me have a look and see. Would love a reading, please, if you see anything for me. You've got a sparky kind of little business energy around you, and it may just be that you're in quite an autonomous role, or that there is just that little idea that sparks in front of you. And I want to say to you, pay attention to that. There's a nice shift upwards around you, okay? So that can be like instigation of business, or it can be a promotion, but it's definitely a nice little sort of pull up there. It feels nice. Let me pull you a couple of cards. I feel like that's kind of sitting over the next 3 to 4 months as well, all right? Use your voice, and don't be afraid to be a little bit daring, okay? You've kind of earned your passage of right, and, daring's respectful and professional and all of those kind of little bits and pieces, but yeah, don't be afraid to go, oi, look what I can do. All right. Interesting. Yeah, okay. So when I pull your cards, I get a little bit of a different side of things as well. So absolutely keeping with what I said, 1,000,000,000,000,000%, but the cards also want to reflect on relationships around you. So I do want to say, when I pull your cards, you've got the heartache card, you've got the unity card, the self-denial card. When I sit with that, I want to say to you, stress in relationships, especially like personal relationships, so husband, partner, wife kind of connections that sit there. I do want to say that it feels like the partner part of this relationship has been kind of under a lot of stress, or they've had a lot of things happening around them, perhaps not being as responsive in the relationship as what they've been in the past and things like that. But much like kind of I said before, I'm not sure how long you've been here for, but sometimes, stagnant energy comes around when there's not it's not that we're being ignorant to the attention that things need around us. It's just that sometimes life gets in the way and we forget to give things the proper attention. And so I want to say to you that if you're feeling like, a close relationship around you needs to pull apart, just kind of before you do that, step in and actually see what the relationship needs first, okay? Because I feel like there's things missing for both of you within this, all right? And as I said, it may well be family as well. As I said, it's a close relationship that's there. But I feel like within this, you've kind of been making compromises and everything else that doesn't necessarily make you happy, all right? Leaves you a little bit uncertain. So when I continue to pull your cards, you've got the seal of the deal card, so making the commitment to move forward. And that's why I wanted to just pull a few little cards, because these are my cards. It's my psychic energy, so it's kind of like a sneak peek into my own head, I guess. But, sealing the deal, making the commitment to move forward. And that's where I say to you, put the energy in, put the time in, put the effort in to actually see what needs to be fixed here, because I feel like you're actually going to be grateful that you did, and that there's not a need to actually walk away. So the female card, the power, the strength has to come from within. So you may find, for things that you want to repair, or bridges and, things like that, that you may have to put in that initial energy first. And you may have to sort of be the one that, sort of sucks it up and makes contact, or says hi, or says this, or says that, even though you may not necessarily be the one that's let this energy fester up so much, okay? But you'll be grateful that you did. And yeah, I just want to emphasize that I really don't feel like there's a need to walk away here, okay? So I hope all of that helps on both sides, and thank you very much for joining me, Robin. I don't know what that means. Oh, thanks. So I got someone giving me hand signals, and it wasn't like an obvious one. So I was like, I don't know what that means. I could stare blankly, or I could just say it. All right. Let me have a looky. Now, there you are. Vicky. Less than 4 weeks to find somewhere. You will be okay. You will be okay. You will find a roof over your head. It's the process. Let me just sit with this one for a second, Vicky. Things in the process now, yeah, okay, but they're kind of, all right. You're being made promises are not necessarily coming through. Yeah. Okay, so what I feel, just a little bit out of here. So if we stick with the 4 weeks and you leave that premise in 4 weeks, and the reason why I say and you leave that premise in 4 weeks is because, look, at the end of the day, I think, I know most of you on the live feed right now aren't going to be aware of this, but I know a few of you are aware that I went through the same eviction process. I was evicted last December. I was given 3 months to get out, and there's a massive rental crisis. And so I did make a phone call and I did ask the tribunal what would happen if I stayed, because I've got 4 children, I'm not having them sleeping in the car, what would happen. And so they basically said to me that they would have to then put in another thing to get you out, and then it's not allowed to go on ticker. Obviously it's going to have some kind of impact, but just for whatever reason, I'm just going to put that out there, not in a psychic sense, but a factual one, okay? Just so you're aware. And I also happen to know that the tribunal court's behind at the moment, so if they say 2 weeks, it'll actually be longer. So don't be afraid to utilise the resources around you. Obviously keep paying your bills and your rent while you're there if that has to happen, because I am feeling a little bit of a crossover here, okay? Now when I say that you'll be okay, I feel that there's ample or enough people around you that if you need to stay somewhere for a couple of weeks and things like that, you're going to be able to. And I feel like it is only like I'm comfortable saying a couple of weeks, okay? I'm not feeling like I'm being generous with it's really a couple of months or anything. I do actually feel like it's a couple of weeks. Now that's all based on the energy that's going in now, and I don't want to suggest that you're not putting enough energy into it. I don't want to suggest that you're doing anything wrong or anything else like that, but these are tough times. So don't be afraid to be a bit of a pit bull. Don't be afraid to be up people's asses. And it's hard because, like, when I was going through that process, like, real estate's so hounded. Every man and their dog's applying for houses at the moment. So you're stepping back, you're doing everything electronically how they want to, and then you happen to ring one because for whatever reason you've needed to ring one, and they're like, oh yeah, if nobody rings, we don't bother to we want to know how enthusiastic they are. And then you got this one over on this side going, oh, people that call me piss me off. And you can't win. It's such a hard thing. And so just make sure you're putting in as much energy. Don't be afraid to call people, because ultimately at the end of the day, apparently, it shows enthusiasm and all the rest of it. I just want to say, just throw as much energy into this as what you're going to need to, okay? I am feeling a little bit of a crossover, but as I said, it does feel like just a couple of weeks. It may well be that, that's they're there, you've been approved, but you're not going to be able to get the keys until this point in time. As I said, it does feel like it cuts to the line, but that's as the energy sits today, okay? We have the power to change outcomes. So I get it, you're throwing in maximum energy. Go and buy another battery pack that's a little bit bigger, chuck it on your back, because you've got a little bit more energy to go yet, okay? But I do absolutely mean it when I say you will be okay. You will have a roof on your head, over your head. There may just be a little bit of a lapse over, but I'm certainly not seeing you homeless in that time. You may just be, utilising some space at a family or friends or something like that, or in a hotel just for a couple of weeks. But as I said, I keep wanting to come back to that point. It's as the energy sits today, okay? Shove some buoying gear up there, and I feel like I can close that gap down a bit, but I still want to say it's going to be a fine line, all right? Sorry, it's not more positive, but it's always good to be prepared, and you are going to absolutely be okay, all right? So I hope that helps. All right, guys, so I am going to do 3 more readings, and then I will be back. You're absolutely welcome, Vicky, absolutely welcome. Elaine, I'll read for you in 2 moments. So I'll do 3 more readings. So Elaine's number 1 of the 3. Guys, thank you very much for joining me as you start to drop out and over. But I will, as I said, have another 2 readings to do after this one. Next week, I am so grateful I get to see my son, who I haven't seen in 3 months. He's marching out, and so there will be no live feed on the Friday. I will attempt to do one through the week though, so it'll be probably, I'd have to look at my diary. I think Wednesday night is a night that I've got time to do it. The books are surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, I'm not surprised. I put a lot of effort and time into what I do, but are booked out at the moment. So it's really great, and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, having to hop around a little bit to find space for the live feed, which I will do. All right, Elaine, let me focus on you. I'm curious to see if you've actually received like a promotion or some recognition lately. It feels like things are really flowing nicely for you at work. So if that hasn't come in, and it may just be like a really nice pat on the back that, you know, sometimes that's what we need, but it just feels like, yeah, you're feeling proud and you're feeling happy where you are and those kind of little bits and pieces. But I feel like it's in recognition or respect of, yeah, an acknowledgement. So, got a bit of relationship energy around you too, shifting. I say like it feels fun. I will say fun but frustrating as well. It's almost like I'm just kind of making a few choices and decisions, and you know, but I want to be light with that. Like, you know, do I want to date? Do I not want to date? Do I want to go on, you know, da. It's that kind of energy that's there. But there's definitely a nice shift in energy that's sitting there around with you. Go slow. I just want to say go slow, and I'm not like saying that for any other reason than just to go slow, okay? Just to go slow. I feel like you just need to go slow so that you have a complete and full understanding of the person before any big decisions are made, because you may choose to move on, or you may decide that you need a little bit more time to sort of get to know the energy and things like that as well. So just be mindful, not in a necessarily in a negative way, but just you may find that you need to, go slow, okay? All right, I'm laughing because I'm looking at your cards and it's distracting me in case you can't tell. So, all right, so when I pull your cards, you got the change of luck card, energies are shifting for the better, and that's it. Immediately, as soon as I focused on you, I felt really happy. I felt like I'd been respected and acknowledged, and yeah, I just felt good. So I want to say for you that sits there. So if things have been sitting a little bit tight at work, or, you know, someone's kind of been bugging you, whatever, that's, yeah, it's all going to shift. You're going to be, yeah, nice where you are. I keep almost wanting to say a change in department. And I don't necessarily want to change department. It may be that somebody else has changed department, so it's changed the energies in there a little bit, or, you know, you've got a new space. It's that kind of shift. Now, you've got the healing card, being patient but allow healing in, okay? And for me, this actually feels like growth. It's you know, healing, but I actually want to be, again, positive with that card and say to you, you know, like sometimes things are steps. So we go through, you know, infants to school, then primary, then high school, then university if we choose to. So each one's like a step up. And so I almost feel like on your own journey of like self-awareness and development and all that sort of stuff, and for whatever that looks like for you, that's there. And so I want to say to you, you're almost, you know, you've graduated and you're about to enter up into, you know, high school up into university, or university up into your masters, you know. And that can sometimes bring some things that almost feel like we're, you know, why am I feeling like this? But again, the subconscious is just releasing and getting ready and letting you know that you're ready to work through a little bit more and just to keep moving forward. So there's a nice energy that's there. Now, if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it is a duck. Now, I actually want to change this card just for you, okay? Elaine Duck. And this is what it is. It's like, you know, if it looks like Elaine and it walks like Elaine and it quacks like Elaine, it's Elaine. So it's almost like that, hey, hear me roar, you know, I'm standing in my energy. It's Elaine, you know, and so it's, I know you guys have all heard this card 100 times, and it's normally, you know, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. But for you, Elaine, today, and just for today, I want to say that card really makes me smile, and it is just that. It's like, you know, it's the same as I say, I am Elizabeth Bratcher, you know, I am strong, I am worthy, and I'm capable, and that's what that card said. It's like, it walks like Elaine. It is Elaine. I am Elaine. Hear me roar. Definitely a nice energy that's there. So embrace those little frustrations and things like that that come around, little things that rise up. They're just little challenges to show you how strong you actually are. When I say that, I see you standing on top of a mountain planting a flag, and you're looking good and you're looking proud. So that tells me that you've kind of moved through something. So again, a few little shifts and challenges around you, but as I said, overall, I feel really happy when I tap in with you and enjoy it and stand in that power. And yeah, it's funny. I may actually think of you now every single time I see that card. So yes, enjoy and thank you for joining me. All right, 2 more. Lynette would love a reading about love and my job. So I'm going to pull some cards and give you what comes up around those. And so one more after Lynette, guys, and I will be back through the week. Lynette. All right, Lynette, when I pull your cards, there's a real emphasis. So your first card out is a support card, okay? So there's a real emphasis through the line of letting you know that you're not alone and that you've got some beautiful friends around you and all of those kind of little bits and pieces that are there. And it's funny, I literally just had something smelling beside me and it was like, oh, and I want to say that I've only smelt it just here and it's like, I almost want to say if that, I know things might have been like smelling a bit like shit lately around you. But not that that was poo, but yeah. But we can get rid of that. So when I sit with your cards, as I said, I want to say to you that even though things might be feeling a little bit isolating, or you haven't been able to spend some time with people that you've not really been able to, missing some people, they are around, and that you do have lots of support. So when you find yourself needing some advice and needing a guidance and those kind of little bits and pieces, don't be afraid to reach out. Those people are still there for you, okay? I feel like there's some shifts and changes that you're wanting to make that you're kind of thinking about, and sometimes these can be things that we don't necessarily want to make, but that we know we need to because they're best for us, and affect potentially our quality of life and, So it's like, oh, damn it, They're things that you may feel that a piece of your life is going to be missing if you don't ever accomplish this, So just kind of taking time to reflect on what it is that's missing around you, what it is that you need, and I guess where you sit in all of that and your ability to actually shift and change that as well. I always say when you get that card, write a list of things that, before I die, or, I want to climb a mountain, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to, finish my uni course, or, whatever it is that it looks like for you. But these are things that I feel like if I'm on my deathbed one day, I'm going to really regret that I didn't face. And then I know that's heavy, but that's life. So then I always write another list thereafter of, so say the first thing up there is I want to finish a degree. So the first thing on this list is going to be, how you can do that. So I'm going to make contact with the universities and I'm going to get some course information. Add some power into those things, and you'll be surprised how influential that can be to actually make some change and acknowledge it with yourself. And look, it takes time. Go easy on yourself. Sometimes the intention is the hardest battle. It might take a couple of years, it might take a couple of months, but yeah, sort of sit back and just see what's missing and what it is that needs to be done about it, and then, take a moment to see what it is that you're prepared to do. Because you need to be a little bit more mindful of your balance, step up with your self-care. And as I always say, a self-awareness journey is not easy. There's always a little bit of challenge that's there within that. So don't think that by making these choices and decisions that everything's just going to be rosy-dory. It's like things that really mean a lot to us we'll fight for, and you're a fighter and you do know how to fight for the things that you want. And so it's almost like it's time to just step back and take an assessment of that. And these could be, really awesome things. Everything's sat so wonderfully that, you've been afforded some time on your hands and you're feeling frustrated. You know what I mean? This doesn't necessarily have to come from this big, heavy place, but it certainly comes from a place of moving forward and what it is that you need. And, you're obviously in a position to make these changes or put some energy into making these changes. Otherwise, the opportunity wouldn't be presented in front of you. All right, so I hope all of that helps, Lynette. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. All right, lucky last reading for the evening. I'm going to do what I always do, or try to do what I always do. I'm just going to go blum, 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 blum. Kimberly Craig. May I please have a reading, ma'am? Oh my God. Listen, I ain't no ma'am. It's all right, I know it's ma'am, not ma'am. And you know what I remember? I remember like about 10 years ago going through McDonald's drive-thru and this rude little teenager calling me ma'am. I'm like, he wasn't rude at all, he was trying to be polite, but I'm like, dude, be very careful who you call ma'am. How old do I look to you? I always remember the first time I was called ma'am. It's funny. God, there'll be a day when I'm walking somewhere and like some parent tells somebody, like their kid, to look out for the old lady, and that old lady will be me. And I'll be like, I might look old, but I'm young on the inside. I'm living forever, I've told them. Well, at least 120 years. All right, Kimberly, let me focus on you. May I please have a reading? Also want to know, are my Nan and Pop around? Thank you kindly. Nans and Pops are always with us and bits and pieces that are there. Absolutely. I think, Kimberly, you're aware I don't do mediumship on here, so I'm not just saying our Nans and Pops are always around with us, but yes. It takes a little bit too long to do the evidential and bits and pieces. I have been thinking about that, you know, doing like just a mediumship live and nothing, no psychics, so no cards or anything else like that, and just working with the mediumship. So stay tuned for that. I haven't actually done it because it's a slower process. You don't get through as many readings and things, but yeah, I'm certainly feeling more and more keen to do one. All right, Kimberly, let me focus. Jesus, that card's coming out a lot tonight. Procrastination. I knew it was going to come out. That's why I pulled you a full spread. I just had to, yeah, I'm a stickler. That's the card I'm referring to. All right, so I've pulled you a full spread just because I knew the spirit card was going to come out and I wanted to validate that your Nan and Pop are around for you. So let me have a look at the full spread. So you've got the heartache card there. Talks about challenging matters of the heart, not quite knowing what to do with that, okay? But I want to say to you that creating delays to avoid action, procrastination, is going to serve you no purpose, all right? You kind of, you know, I'm surprised the duck card's not here. Is there anything? Oh, there's a dead end card. That's close enough. But, you know, for me, it is like that. It's like the things that are around you, the things that you're waiting to change aren't necessarily going to, and I feel like you kind of know that. Let's not make it about entire life. Obviously, it's this thing that you're focused on there. Very much feels like it's, you know, going to affect emotions and feelings and all that sort of stuff. So I just want to say to you that there's a little bit of a cycle that's been around you, okay? As I said, you're a little bit uncertain about what the best course of action to do is, but I feel like in your heart you actually know that this situation is no longer serving you, and so there either needs to be some real strengthening of boundaries around this or letting it go and moving on, okay? I do feel like you have tried repair here before, so just be mindful. You know, again, I look for the duck card. If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck, okay? It's not a swan, it's a duck. So just be mindful, okay? So you've got the balance card there. Again, just being mindful. Shit happens, and that is just that in life sometimes shit happens. It doesn't mean that we've done the wrong thing. It doesn't mean that it's not fair. You know, it doesn't mean that we're on the wrong track or anything else like that. It's just sometimes shit happens in life and we've just got to deal with those things. Don't let, you know, little molehills turn into mountains, because it's not what needs to happen, okay? So keeping yourself nice and grounded. As soon as I pull into that, you've got the prosperity card there. So actually taking care of these things is actually going to, you know, see you better off. You know, when we're feeling better off, look, it is the money tree that's sitting there with the prosperity. So I don't necessarily want to go, oh, you're going to, you know, have millions of dollars come in. But I feel like having the stress off the back and having decisions made and everything else like that behind just allows that little bit of extra flow of abundance around you, okay? And again, then you get improvements of self and situations. It can be frustrating to go through that process, but then you've got the sunset card. So it's the end of a phase coming through. It's the end of an era. You're stepping into a new era, okay? And so you've got the spirit card there. It's exactly why I pulled the full spread, because I knew that card had come out. you know, our loved ones are always around us, okay? They are. And I know that that's not a spirit connection, but a spirit asks for a connection in the deck, and that's it, just to show you, okay? So things like, as I said, you've got the dead end card, they're not necessarily working around you, all right? And you know this. So what you need to know most, trust your intuition, have a little bit of patience, be open to the change that's trying to come in, and once you are, you'll see a nice shift of luck as well, all right? So a little bit of work to do. Let go of what no longer serves around you. Let go of the things that are causing cycles around you. And as I said, letting go can just be letting go of the stagnant energy, bringing in some stronger boundaries, putting your needs and all that sort of stuff into it, but it needs to shift, okay? You will be much better off in all aspects because of it, all right? So I hope that that helps, Kimberly. Thank you very much for joining me. Guys, as I said, I will be back through the earlier part of next week, or this week. It's Sunday, that's right, I think it's Friday. Other than that, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure as always. Look forward to joining you again, and take care. And if you can't be good at it.